This way, this door. Here he is, Inspector.
Oh, come in. Well, what's your name?
Rajan Raskolnikov.
Oh, let me see. Oh, yes, it's written right down here in our books. You owe your landlady $100 and you refuse to vacate the premises.
Is that why I'm here? The rent? The rent? I can pay that now. I can pay it.
What's the matter with you?
Hey, Inspector, we got that janitor. Sergeant's with him now. Sergeant thinks he killed the pawnbroker woman.
The janitor, he did it.
Hey, what's the matter with you?
Hey, he's probably sick, Inspector. He hasn't eaten.
All right, now, I guess I have a fever. I'm sorry. Can I go now?
Yes, if you'll promise to pay your rent by tomorrow.
I will. I'll get the money.
Oh, just a minute. What did you say your name was?
Raskolnikov.
Raskolnikov. Now I remember. Well, this is an unexpected pleasure. You wrote a very interesting article on crime in the Weekly Review, that right?
Yes, sir.
Very interesting article. The justification of crime.
Thank you.
Yes, you know, maybe you can help us on this murder case.
What murder case?
An old pawnbroker lady was killed today, a well-known character by the name of Ivanovna. And, just a minute. Bring the prisoner in. It's a very happy coincidence that you're here.
Here's the janitor, Inspector.
Please, sir. I don't know anything about that poor woman's murder. I swear it to you.
He's obviously lying. Am I right, Mr. Raskolnikov?
I can't say yet.
Now listen, you.
Yes, sir.
You say you were painting in the empty flat underneath the pawnbroker shop today, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
What time did you finish painting?
About 7 o'clock.
And at 8 o'clock, you tried to sell a diamond crucifix.
Yes, sir.
Where did you get that crucifix?
I found it.
Where?
It was in the hallway near where I was working.
Did you ever see this before?
It's a hammer, but I didn't...
Forget me! You tied this package tightly, pretending there was something in it you wanted to pawn. While she was bending over trying to untie the knot, you picked up a hammer and struck her over the head. Confess that you killed her.
No! I know nothing about it.
Take him away.
I'm innocent. I'm innocent.
Well, Mr. Raskolnikov, what do you think? Is he guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Not guilty? What makes you think so?
I'm convinced of it.
I have enough on him to send him to the gallows.
You're not going to send an innocent man to the gallows.
Why not? I've got a perfect record so far. I can mark this case closed.
What about your conscience afterwards?
Oh, why should I bother with a conscience? Let the murderer suffer from his conscience.
Then two people will be suffering. The murderer and this innocent man.
Have you forgotten your article on crime? You said, if I recall, that there are two kinds of people. Ordinary and extraordinary. The extraordinary man has special privileges. He has a right to kill and ought to be forgiven. Well, I'm forgiving him. The case is closed.
No murderer should ever be forgiven. If a murderer has a conscience, he will suffer for his mistake. That will be his punishment.
You're changing, Mr. Raskolnikov.
Yes, I'm changing.
Extraordinary. Yes. Most extraordinary, I should say. Well, that's all for now.
You mean I can go?
Why not? I'm done with you. Good day.
You are listening, ladies and gentlemen, to the Philip Morris Playhouse on Broadway, presenting the Philip Morris Intercollegiate Acting Competition and bringing you Crime and Punishment, starring Charlton Heston with Everett Sloan. And tonight, college star number 10, Beverly Montrond of Hunter College. And this is your Philip Morris host, Charles Martin. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is Don Briggs with some advance information most everyone is interested in.
Well, Charles, it's not exactly advance information. It is, however, a question about the future that is important to millions of people. It is this: how can a smoker know in advance that he will wake up in the morning fresh, with a clear taste and a clean, comfortable throat? How about you? Can you smoke for pleasure today with no cigarette hangover tomorrow? Well, the simple fact is you can, if you smoke Philip Morris. And the reason Philip Morris gives you this big smoking advantage is because Philip Morris is made differently from any other leading brand. And that difference is your guarantee of everything you've ever wanted in a cigarette: tasty mildness, rich flavor, pleasant aroma, and no cigarette hangover. Yes, tomorrow morning is the true test of your cigarette. So remember, change to Philip Morris, and you'll know in advance that you will enjoy more smoking pleasure today with no cigarette hangover tomorrow. And that's an extra pleasure, an extra smoking advantage only Philip Morris smokers share. So call for Philip Morris, America's most enjoyable cigarette. And now back to the Philip Morris Playhouse on Broadway, starring Charlton Heston with Everett Sloan, and presenting the Philip Morris Intercollegiate Acting Competition. Introducing for the first time on the air, Beverly Montrond of Hunter College, playing Sonia in Crime and Punishment.
That girl Sonia's here, Inspector.
Oh, have her come right in.
Why am I here?
Well, you see, a woman, a pawnbroker named Ivanovna, was murdered a week ago. Now, according to this entry in her book, you visited her. Is that so?
Yes, sir.
And at what time was this?
About 7 o'clock?
Are these the articles you pawned?
Yes, sir.
What do you do for a living?
I'm looking for work.
While you were doing business with the pawnbroker, did you notice anyone else?
Why, yes. There was a man who came to pawn a watch while I was there.
A man? Can you describe him?
Why, yes. His name is Rajan.
Oh, do you know him well?
We've become friends. I dropped $1 and he helped me find it. And then he gave me some money for my father's funeral.
Ah, generous, eh?
Yes, sir. It was the nicest thing any man ever did for me.
How often have you seen him since then?
Well, only once, sir, when I went to thank him for the money.
So you know where he lives?
Yes.
And you did see him after the murder?
Yes, sir.
Funny, but he paid his landlady the rent the day after the woman was killed. And before that, he had no money.
Inspector, you don't think that...
That I suspect your friend? Oh, no, of course not.
He's no murderer, Inspector. He's too kind and good. He's an extraordinary man.
Funny you should say that. He is an extraordinary man. You may go now, Sonia.
Thank you. Come in. Oh, hello.
Sonia, listen, what did the inspector want to know? They're following me.
Who?
The police.
Why? What have you done? What are you afraid of?
Nothing. Sonia, did you tell the inspector about meeting me at the pawnbroker's?
Yes, I told him.
What? What did you tell him?
Well, only about the money you gave me. But I didn't say anything to involve you.
Involve me? What makes you think I could possibly become involved?
You didn't kill her.